Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Porter Says podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Heath. If you didn't already know that, if you're new to this channel and to this podcast, I have to say, welcome, but most of you should already know that. And in this episode, finally, after nearly 2 years basically since the first season premiered on Disney+, Percy Jackson Season 2 is finally here. First 2 episodes premiered last night. Of course, I watched them literally the minute that they were released, and we're going to be talking about it. I took some notes down, so I hope you enjoy. I know there are many Percy Jackson fans out there, and for those who are Percy Jackson fans, you're getting another Percy Jackson podcast themed episode. Lucky you. Let's get started. Right, so Season 2 starts off with Grover still searching for Pan near what looks like to be near, or I don't think it's actually near the Sea of Monsters, but it's out in the ocean. He comes across this skeleton, which actually has the Pan flute on it. I'm not entirely sure if that's actually meant to be Pan, but still. And then he comes across Allison Sims, who is a brand new character, I think I wrote that down, who was made up for this show. She wasn't in the book, or any of the books, so that's pretty cool. Not a bad idea at all. It's cool that Rick Riordan was actually, I think, might have been involved with that. That's pretty cool. Grover gets taken by this giant sea monster, and then Percy wakes up. So Percy starts having these dreams about Grover, because he knows he's in trouble. We cut to him in his apartment getting ready to go to school, and we see that his mother, Sally, actually met Tyson. We get the introduction to Tyson in this episode. Met him at a homeless shelter or something like that. So it's pretty cool. We get the Grey sisters in this, which was awesome. I found them very, very entertaining. So we get Annabeth coming back, which is awesome to see. And she's very much like, who is this Cyclops? Do you know this Cyclops, Percy? And then, what I thought wasn't actually going to be the cannonball fight between Percy and the cannibals, or dodgeball, sorry, not cannibal, dodgeball fight between the cannibals, because in the book, that's actually how, I think that's the second chapter, he actually gets into a fight with them at his school where he is. But in the show, they're on the way to camp after the Grey sisters drop them off, and they get attacked there, just outside the barrier. Because at first, when the episodes were first released last night, they didn't have titles, so I was like, oh, okay. So I was waiting for this fight to come. I was like, is it gonna... They're not going to school because the Grey sisters show up with Annabeth to take them off to camp, so what's the deal? It wasn't until actually I read this morning that they renamed the episodes, and actually we did get the dodgeball fight. It's just that the actual dodgeballs were the fireballs that these cannibals were throwing the giants. Maybe it's just because I hadn't read the book in a good while. I didn't really pick up on that. I'm like, oh, so that's how it's going down in the book, just before they get to camp or outside camp. I have to say that the show already looks visually better in terms of the CGI and stuff like that, and especially on Tyson's eye. I actually do really like the look on Tyson's eye. I think it looks pretty solid, and you can tell that they got a bit of a budget upgrade. And the episodes are already a little bit longer than the last one. The first episode is about 43 minutes long, and the second episode is 45 minutes, so I'm really hoping that the future episodes are a bit longer. That's kind of all I wrote down for episode 1. We obviously get to see Riptide again. Always love seeing Percy, uncap Riptide. It looks like it's a great design. And then Clarice being as awesome as ever. So we get Dionysus coming back. So that's great. And then episode 2. So the chariot race. The chariot race was awesome. I really liked seeing that. I do somewhat remember reading that in the book, and I'm like, this could be interesting to see on screen. And obviously the film didn't do that, so it was really cool to finally see it come to the screen and be adapted, and it was really fun. And then we get the attack of the pigeons, I believe is what they're supposed to be called. Or actually, I think there is another name, but I just call them pigeons anyway. That was great. CGI on them was a bit wonky. It kind of looked a little bit like when they were like attacking a lot of the campers. Got to see Chiron for a few minutes of screen time, and that was cool. We can see he's chilling in Miami, which is cool. Got a bit of tension between Percy and Annabeth, because there is a scene where Annabeth is talking to Chiron and talking about the quest and everything that she needs to go on, and that if she needs to win the chariot race, because then she'll be able to go on it. And Chiron says, you can't take Percy, like he is not allowed to go on this quest. And I honestly don't remember what the specific reason is that he can't go on the quest with Annabeth and Clarice and Chris Rodriguez. Those are the three that are picked to go on this little quest to go find the Golden Fleece, which is the only thing that can protect the barrier. See, in the very first episode, we got to see Luke come back. That was awesome. We see him stabbing Thalia's tree. And I love the line where Percy says to him, "You running away again, huh?" And he's just like, "I'll see you out there," and flies off on Blackjack. I also really like the dream sequences here between Percy and Grover. I think it's really well done. We get to see Grover in the wedding dress, and I love the fact that they kind of like swap clothes in the dream sequences. Like, it'll cut between Percy and Grover, where Grover is wearing like a Camp Half-Blood shirt and Percy is wearing the outfit that Grover's wearing. And then at one point, Percy's actually wearing the wedding dress, and he goes, "Dude, why? I gotta ask, what's the deal with this?" And it's revealed that Polyphemus, since him as a Cyclops, his eyesight's a bit iffy, so he can't really see. And also there's like the smell on Grover that's kind of not letting him smell or see what he is. Hermes, Lin-Manuel comes back for Hermes for a really cool thing. Very odd line, though, I will say, when Percy's like, "What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas," and I'm like, that's a very very adult thing to say, but okay, fair enough. I mean, I have to say, I love Tyson. It's just really cool to see a much better adaptation of him than the film, because I didn't mind him in the movie. I thought he was fine. Like, I liked the actor Douglas Smith who played him in the film, like, but it just wasn't Tyson to me. This one is Tyson. There's one scene where Percy's about to sneak out to try and go on the quest. He's talking to Tyson. Tyson's like, "Oh, I'm scared in the dark. Like, I don't like to be alone." And I just was like, "Oh, Tyson." Yeah, the Hermes scene is great. It's really cool to see him come back. And I love the whole thing when Percy's like, look, Luke, he hates you. He's my son. But he doesn't trust you, Hermes. It's like, he's my son. And no matter how much you want to give up on family, no matter how tempting they make it, you can't do that. So, gives him the boat. And then Percy, Annabeth, and finally Tyson, they sneak off to this quest. They have broken a law of Camp Half-Blood, so they can never return. And that's pretty much the 2 episodes of Percy Jackson and the Olympians Season 2, Sea of Monsters. I cannot wait for this season to continue. I feel like it is going to be probably the better season out of the 2. It just looks like it's going to be more epic, a bit more mature. The budget increase, hopefully the much longer episodes, which, since the first 2 were much longer, I think that's a pretty good indication of what we're going to get. There are still things about the first 2 that did feel a bit rushed to me. I really wish we kind of stayed at Camp Half-Blood a little bit longer, because I just like being in that world. I do think that the fight with the cannibals and the dodgeballs and stuff like that could have been a bit longer. I do really like the scene where it's revealed that Tyson is a son of Poseidon. That's really cool. Clarice is getting a little bit more screen time in this. She I just love the fact that every time she sees Percy, she's like, "Shut up, Jackson." It's great. Like, Percy's still trying to be somewhat nice to her, even though she tried to hurt him and bully the crap out of him in the first season. It just goes to show how good of a guy Percy is. And that about covers it. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was kind of just like my other videos all over the place, and I feel like there's going to be other videos uploaded on these first 2 episodes that are going to be much better than what I just did and what I described. I'm so belated that it's finally back for season 2. It feels like forever ago that season 1 came out, even though it's not yet been 2 years, and it was like, it's been much over a year since season 1 ended, so we didn't really have to wait that long. Let me know down below what you thought of the first 2 episodes of Percy Jackson season 2. What did you like? What didn't you like? Do you think it's going to be better than the first one? Do you like the fact that the runtimes are a bit longer? So, yeah, let me know down below. Do consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to this channel. I make podcast episodes just about every Friday. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care.